After stepping off the Amtrak Empire Builder in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and flying by private jet to Fort Collins, Colorado, my son and I took a one-day detour through the mountains of Colorado and then into Denver. We stayed the night, getting ready to board the legendary California Zephyr, and once again, we're doing this trip just for fun. Come along with us. The Zephyr is often called Amtrak's most scenic route, and for good reason. Departing from Denver Union Station, the train immediately begins its climb into the Rocky Mountains, winding along the curves of the Colorado River and through canyons that seemed carved specifically for rail travel.
Thanks for cooperation in this. We're just doing a safety measure for all the passengers, for you folks, especially the passengers who got breathing issues. But here we go. Moffat Tunnel, please stay in the car. I'm going to repeat, please stay in the car you currently are in until we get out of the tunnel there. I'll make an announcement when we do come out to let's free to move out the train, but right now, let's stay in the car we currently are in. Here we go, Moffat Tunnel. 1 to 2 minutes.
One of the highlights of this journey is the Moffat Tunnel, a 6.2-mile engineering marvel that burrows beneath the Continental Divide at an elevation of 9,239 feet. Originally opened in 1928, it replaced the treacherous Rawlins Pass route, which made year-round rail travel possible through the Rockies. Passing through the tunnel is more than just a shortcut, it's a rite of passage for anyone riding the Zephyr. On the west side, you emerge near Winter Park Resort, greeted by alpine vistas that feel like a hidden world. I suppose maybe it's Zephyr instead of Zephyr. Either way. From Denver, the Zephyr carried us across Gore Canyon, Byers Canyon, and the dramatic Glenwood Canyon before rolling through Utah's Red Rock deserts and into Reno, Nevada. We stepped off here, taking a few hours to explore, before boarding the returning eastbound Zephyr to make the trip back to Chicago. Doubling back gave us a rare gift, a second crossing of the Rockies, this time in reverse. The light was different, the angles changed, the landscape felt newer, all over again. It's proof that no two train rides are ever the same. You might have noticed that the windows are pretty clean on this train. That's because we noticed that in Denver, while the train is stopped loading and unloading passengers, at least for the westbound Zephyr, they actually come along and wash the windows, apparently each time the train comes through. Specifically on the sightseeing car, but they do occasionally get to the other windows throughout the train, making this one of the cleaner, viewable routes on Amtrak. On the eastbound California Zephyr, my son and I decided it was time to try out Amtrak dining. We made a reservation and headed to the dining car, where the atmosphere immediately felt different. Tables are set with linens, the hum of casual conversation, and the gentle sway of the train as we rolled through the Rockies. Of course, we had to order the famous Flatiron Steak, and let me tell you, it didn't disappoint. Dinner came as a full experience, an appetizer to start, the main course, dessert, and even a beverage. At $45 a person, it's not cheap, but the food was genuinely good, and more importantly, it really completed the journey. Eating in the dining car is as much about the tradition as it is about the meal. If you're traveling by Amtrak and you don't purchase a private room, I highly recommend you plan to eat in the dining car at least once. It's part of the magic of long-distance rail travel. Sharing a meal while the scenery glides by outside your window, it's amazing. Have you traveled on Amtrak and eaten in the dining car? If so, leave a comment below. Let's chat about it. Made it to Reno, Nevada. Kind of an interesting train station. This is actually just a waiting area here, but the last leg of our most recent trip coming into Reno was a little chaotic. We had screaming children, speakerphone conversations, TV shows playing on full volume, apparently on the California Zephyr. Anyway, on the California Zephyr, apparently the same rules don't apply that apply on all the rest of the trains. You don't have to have headsets and have conversations in either the vestibule or in the sightseeing car. You can just feel free to do that in your seat, even during quiet hours. So I guess that's a different rule that applies only to the Zephyr. Keep that in mind when you travel. Otherwise, it's actually been a great trip. The sights were wonderful. The Rockies were amazing. As a matter of fact, we're getting back on the Zephyr. The number 6, though, this time headed eastbound in about an hour and a half. We came through just to be able to see the Rockies and parts of Utah. Now we're going to jump back on and go back through Utah and the Rockies and head to Chicago. Here's a little hack for you when you're on Amtrak going through Reno. The casinos are only about a block or so away, so if you have a long enough layover, of course you could partake of the casino games, but more importantly, you can walk over there generally and get yourself some lunch, something to eat. There's several restaurants inside that have to-go orders, all that good stuff. So rather than the expensive train meals, you can get a decent meal just by walking about a block. Leaving the rugged peaks of Colorado behind, the eastbound California Zephyr begins its long glide across the Great Plains. The scenery shifts fairly quickly. Basically, once you leave the Rockies and get into Denver, you're outside of the canyons and no more alpine rivers. This all gives way to endless horizons, golden fields, and skies that seem to stretch forever. And here we are on the California Zephyr, headed eastbound. We got on in Reno. We're just about to enter into the Moffat Tunnel, one of the longest tunnels on Amtrak's lines, and I think actually the highest elevation tunnel. I'll have to double check that and I'll let you know in the comments. But hang tight, we're turning the last curve and we'll be entering into the Moffat Tunnel. I think it's 6.8 miles. It takes about 10 minutes to go through. We'll see you on the other side.
No, it's the first time. I've actually
You can see there's Tyler in the reflection. This segment of our USA Rail Pass journey blended contrasts: private jet speed with rail slow rhythm, city skylines with mountain passes, and the thrill of crossing the Rockies twice. The Moffat Tunnel stands as a symbol of human ingenuity, while the Zephyr reminds us that sometimes the best way to see America is mile by mile, window by window.
We'll let you off. Once again, we're here at Chicago Union Station.